You like my violin playing?
I did like your violin playing. Merry Christmas, almost. Yes.
Do you guys like his hat?
Sweet hat. I am. That's right. I had to remove a video that I almost accidentally played. Yes, I will be wearing my sweet Christmas hat for the whole time because this is my awesome hat. Every year I wear something weird for my father-in-law to our Christmas party. This is it this year. Kind of gives you a Viking Christmas kind of feel. You know,
that looks kind of like a hat I need to deliver mail in with the.
Oh, you totally should. Yes. There's Tonio, Kentucky Fried Gamers. Hello. Thank you. This is my Christmas hat because Christmas is coming. So unless I can find another cool hat, I'll probably be wearing this one for the rest of the shows this month. Unless we do a really long one, in which case I won't because it's kind of hot. So anyway, we're having some. Well, thank you, Tim. I'm glad you like my hat. We're having some minor technical difficulties. So Eric's on his phone. So I don't know if he can see your. Can you see the comments?
No, that's what I'm trying to see if we can see him anyway.
So he can't even see the comments. So if he doesn't answer right away, I will try to catch everything. But we'll see what happens. And yes, Todd Valhalla calls for Christmas.
Okay, I found how I can see him, but now I can't see you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's you're gonna have to pick if you want to check out this awesome hat for the entire 30 minutes, or if you want to see comments.
I gotta see.
You gotta see the hat because I can always do this. Boom. Hello, Alder. Good morning.
Good morning, Alder.
See, I can just throw the comments up there for us. Yep. Boom. Coffee cup. All right. So, what are you working on there, Mr. Huffman Mailman?
Well, made some progress on this guy.
Oh, nice.
So I got a couple more highlighting coats to do for him. I don't even know where the camera is on this dang phone.
And he's Monster Apocalypse, right?
Yep, that's for the second edition Monster Apocalypse. I picked up one to paint him, see what it was like. And then back there, I got the second wave of 6 cars all ready for prime and paint for colors. So
nice.
I'm getting them done because I just got the notification that the rest is finally coming.
Awesome. So, well, I'm super jealous of Alder because for those of you who are in the Twisted Facebook group, he already got his new models and already has one of them painted.
Yeah, so he posted those all over too. You were probably
right. I know. I saw him. I had to go like them everywhere. But I'm super jealous because I don't have mine yet. But somewhere out there between here and Australia is my package. And it will be here eventually. I'm hoping it'll be here before Christmas, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I had a buddy of mine. He brought me this really cool dice roller.
Yeah.
It's not for me. He just asked me if I'd paint it. So I painted it up last night. It's pretty cool. I like it. I put a little piece of foam there in the mouth because the D20s were bouncing out. The rest of them were fine. But now I'm unfocused. Let me see if I can put the skull back up and refocus. Focus. Nope. Focus. Man, we are having all kind of problems tonight. Okay. We're just going to have to
see up here. I'd like to blame the weather because it's like, below 30 degrees, but
right. Shine a light, see if that works. See, the problem is we actually don't know what we're doing. So there we go. That we actually don't know what we're doing. Okay, we have a YouTube comment. Okay, so now someone translate this. Yeah, I didn't think so either. So
no.
I don't know who Marjorie Chambers is, and I don't know what vask.tech means, but welcome anyway. So what are we going to talk about tonight, sir? Because this is kind of a different subject, and I'm going to be perfectly honest that this is, I think, for the people we have in tonight as far as painters, I'm going to say that this particular subject is going to be the realm of Alder, Tonio, and Eric more than myself. So
I don't know about me necessarily.
Oh, come on there, Mr. Art Degree. Come on now. Come on. Don't sell yourself short. So what are we talking about tonight?
All right, so tonight we're going to talk about our favorite paintbrushes. So
Favorite paint.
we're just going to talk about, there's the number one tool in miniature painting is the paintbrush, I think. There's a ton out there that range all kinds of prices and brands.
Wait,
And
hold on. I thought it was coffee. I thought that was the number. Now I'm really confused. That explains everything I've been doing wrong painting.
you using
You're supposed to use a paintbrush?
Unless you're finger painting.
That explains a lot. I've been finger painting my models. So, all right. Well, I'm going to hopefully see some changes in my painting.
But we're just going to talk about, how do you pick one? What's a good one? What do we use? What do you guys out there use?
Well, Tonio wasted no time. Rosemary and Company. I've never even heard of those.
I don't know if I know that one either.
That doesn't mean anything as far as my limited knowledge of paintbrushes. But anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of excited to talk about this for a couple of reasons. One is we do have some really good painters in here who probably use really good paintbrushes. I'm going to hold up a couple of my paintbrushes. You can't really see them.
I got a pile next to mine.
Oh, me too. But these are my super duper extra double triple fancy plaid paintbrushes.
I figured plaid had some.
Plaid actually has some really good ones. We'll get into that a little bit more, but like some of the brands, Todd makes a good point too. We'll get to that too. I'm going to take that comment away real fast because we're going to get to that in a second. But kind of what I want to know is from the guys that are really good painters, or even if you're not a good painter and you just know something about brushes, chime in too, is what is really the difference? Because as a very amateur painter myself, I don't see too much of a difference in the brushes that I use. And I have an assortment. So I have some Kolinsky Sable brushes.
Good ones.
I have my plaid brushes. I've got the Army Painter brush set. And then my latest acquisitions are Baumwick brushes from the same guys that do Pro Acryl.
You didn't get any of these from Adepticon?
No.
Games and Gears?
I did not. So I know that there's a whole bunch of different stuff, and I know everything has a certain role. I do a lot of terrain building, so obviously I get some of those brushes at the Dollar Tree when I'm doing terrain building. But what I really want to know is really what's the biggest difference in the brushes? Because
it kind of comes down to it. The way I look at brushes is they kind of do the same thing, right? They put the paint on the minis,
right?
But there are subtle differences,
right?
And I like what Ron says. I actually got this thing working, kind of.
Oh, good. All right, you can see stuff.
I can see some stuff, but Ron's saying
that's good.
He's talking about his brushes depend on the task at hand,
sure.
And he's used super expensive to the cheapies, and they all have their place in his brush collection. So yeah, the right brush for the right job. That's a good point.
Yeah. But so Tim says he uses cheap hobby store brushes, but ones that hold their shape better would be nice.
Yeah.
And Tonio says you can use whatever for everything else. See, that's the thing is I'm not sure. Now, I'm not a bad painter. I mean, I've been painting long. I've been painting miniatures long enough that just by default, you know what I mean? Just by default, I've been doing it for so long that I've improved significantly. Oh man, I buy those all the time.
That's a brush set.
I buy those all the time. It's like $9 at Walmart. I'll be painting forever. But I'm going to have to go with Todd on this one too, because this is how I choose my paint too, is which one tastes the best. Whichever one tastes the best. That is
testing them in the aisle.
Oh yeah. You have to. That's the only bad thing about when they're in a container. You know, you look kind of funny standing there in the store going, trying to lick the paintbrushes in a package. But I've like I said, I've used Kolinsky Sable brushes, and then I'll have it on my desk, and right next to it, I will have my brush from Plaid. And So the ones, just for anybody that wants the cheap brushes, they're actually really good. The orange and pink ones, they're the Mod Podge brushes from Plaid. They have some really small detail brushes in there that are really good. Now, I understand that a guy like Angel Giraldes, I mean, his brushes probably cost more than my car.
Well, they probably have his name on it, right?
Right, exactly, because he's a phenomenal painter. And I'm not talking about being that good. I'm talking about what's the difference, because somebody piped in there that Ron did. He said switching to Sable brushes changed his painting immensely. So my question is, what about it changed your painting, Ron? We'll look for your comment to come up on that one. That looks like your beat somebody brush right there.
Now, this is a brush that I've had probably for almost 30 years. It's an art school brush, so you can see how it's as big as my forearm. It's an acrylic brush. Now, I've used
what I
this
paint my miniatures with.
I don't know about miniatures for this, but I've painted terrain with this kind of stuff. I mean, it's actual real hair, so it holds the paint pretty good.
Right.
And I can beat on it, and it pretty much, like I said, almost 30 years, it still has its shape.
Right.
Kind of. It's old. I don't clean it very good.
So I had a couple. So Alder piped in and said he uses cheap brushes from the craft shop. Right brush for the right job. Tried the expensive ones. They were better, but wasn't worth the cost for his style of painting. Yeah, that's the thing for me is because when I sit down and paint, I'll have a handful of like the main characters that I'll sit down and I'll spend a lot of time on those. But most of them, I'm just trying to pump them out because I like the overall image that the painted miniatures on the table give me, and that 3-foot rule. Now my like, so let's just say, for instance, I'll use Games Workshop for the example. If I have my 10-man squad of Space Marines and my sergeant, I'm going to spend all the extra time on my sergeant, and my regular guys will be just fine. So I will spend a lot of time on some of them, but I want to get them on the table and just have everything painted because I like to set up tables, and the little gray, black, or white ghosts floating across the table that are primered or metal or still in resin, they don't make me happy.
And the expensive ones, like these Games and Gear ones that I got at Adepticon, I kind of got them on sale, and they're kind of cool because you can, if I can get it apart, they come apart, and they go in on itself, and it's got the nice little case that you put them in.
I've seen those. Yeah.
The only problem with these is because of the price, I'm afraid to use them.
Right.
I don't want to ruin them or wreck them because, I do try to take care of them and clean them good and stuff like that after paint sessions. But it's like, I'm afraid to use them. The cheap ones, I'm more inclined to use because if I do start to bend it or the hairs kind of go that way, well, it's cheap enough. I can just
throw it away,
aside and
throw it away, and go grab another pack of 5. So, okay, I did not realize that this subject was going to bring out so many funny comments from everybody. So Tonio and thank you for this comment, is he's commenting on what makes them better, and he's talking about that they keep their point and have good flow.
Yep.
And now that you've mentioned that, I do believe that I've noticed the flow part a little bit. Now that I'm reflecting back on it. But to be fair, I mean, I also put craft paints on my miniatures as well as my expensive pro acrylic paint. So, I'm not exactly hanging out with the highbrow painters over here. I'm up in the nosebleed seats, so to speak. But here's the comment. So Todd says a unit of orcs is one model to me. I paint it as such. That's paint roller. Just lay them on the ground and roll them. And then Bob says, painted figures roll better. It's science. True story. Very true story. Okay, but Ron pipes in too here. Because he says he kept using the cheap brushes, constantly fight with the bristles curling, and try to adjust. Became a chore, get frustrated, and quit painting until he got his Sable brushes, and it allowed him to paint with them, keeping their points and improve his painting. That's a really good point too, because it's easy to get frustrated painting. And I think that even from my perspective of my plaid paintbrushes, and listen, as far as cheap paintbrushes go, because I've bought a bunch of different cheap paintbrushes, I don't think any of them are as good as plaid paintbrushes. They keep a point really well. It's, I think, $5 for a pack of 8 of them, and they're the fine point ones. They're the fine point ones too. So they're really nice brushes. But Ron makes a good point. It can get frustrating if you can't do it right. Thinking back to, remember when most of us in this group started painting, we probably used the same brush, right? The white one that comes with the Testors enamel paints. Come on, you guys all remember painting metal miniatures with enamel paint?
Back.
I still get chills when I go in Michael's and I walk down the model aisle and I see that pack of those white brushes. I get a little scared. Sometimes I want to buy a pack and just go paint a miniature with it just to see what it turns out. So Todd said, what's a good Sable brush to get? So you pro painters, throw that out there. What's a good Sable brush?
Doesn't Monument make some brushes now that are Sable?
Yeah, that's the Bombwick brushes.
Okay.
So, yeah, and they've got 2 different sets. So they've got they're Kalinsky Sable brushes.
Okay.
So you've got the Igniters set, and that's the slightly larger brushes, and then the Det Cords, and these are the super detail brushes, and I got both of them.
That's what I like, is the detail ones.
Yeah. Thank you, Todd. Look, Todd's hooking us up, getting some plugs. Can you guys who have recommendations for good Sable brushes, would you mind throwing the links up over in the Discord afterwards? Or if you're on Facebook watching, you can throw them up there too. So we've got Rosemary and Company. Tonio threw up there, Series 33. I'm going to have to check those out. And Ron says Windsor and Newton.
Windsor and Newton was one that I like. I used those a lot in art school for watercolors and stuff.
Yeah. And
they're a
Tim,
reasonable price too.
Yeah. And Tim, to answer your question, the brushes from Monument, they are Sable. These are them right there. Bombwick brushes.
I'm laughing at Spaz's comment.
You get nostalgic when you walk down the Testors aisle. Yeah. Now, the thing is Testors does have some acrylic paints, and I've used a few of them, and some of their bright colors I highly recommend checking out, because a lot of their bright colors are targeted towards model builders. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to hit that super bright stuff. So if you want a really bright red or yellow, they do have acrylic Testors. Todd R says the Testors glue fumes, good times. Yeah, but that does not have to be a memory though, because now that there's so many plastic model kits out there, it doesn't have to be a memory anymore. It can still be part of what you're doing.
Todd be like this.
That's right. Ron just bought some Army Painter brushes and haven't tried them yet. Listen, I have a bunch of Army Painter brushes, and I'm about, I want to say, yep, those are the ones. I want to say I'm about 4 or 5 years into these brushes. I like the handles. I like the triangle.
Yeah, the triangle one's my favorite one. It just feels good to hold on to. That's another thing to think about brushes, is the grip. Yeah. Like some of them have these little rubber grips to help you hold them.
So I think, because there's a lot to it, and there's a couple of things. It's the style that you're painting is going to matter for your models. The how well you want them painted, how good of a painter you are, what techniques you use, all of that stuff's going to play in. What is that brush actually called?
This is a fan brush.
Okay, so let me tell you, this is look, you can't see it. It disappears into my Viking Christmas hat. Okay. But this fan brush, this is the best brush for one of the things that I do. I don't have one around me on my buildings, which is I will apply. So when I'm doing like water damage and stuff to buildings, I'll apply water to the MDF and then get paint on the brush and apply it to the water base, and it runs. and then it leaves a real thin coat. So it's almost like making the wash on the model, except I only do it on terrain. And I love that fan brush.
I like using this for dry brushing too.
Real. I haven't tried it for dry brushing.
It for like gentle dry brushing, not like your typical where you're just really working it in. This is kind of like your edge work almost.
Typical. You mean when you break it off the base because you're dry brushing so hard like that?
Yeah.
So Bob said he has a Army Painter Masterclass detail brush that's amazing. I think I have that one too, Bob. I believe it's like they're not the white ones. They have a brown shaft on it.
Those are nice because they come in.
It's a Viking Christmas hat, not a squid Christmas tree hybrid, but that would work. It's a hairy squid Christmas tree because it's hairy.
Army Painters are nice because they come in sets of 3 too. So
right.
Viking
and okay, Ron threw this out here, and I cannot agree with you more on this one, Ron. Makeup brushes are the best dry brushing brushes, especially for terrain, because you can get that big old honking brush that's like, like this big, and dry brush a piece of terrain in one stroke.
I mean, it's about this size. This is one of those cheap 1/2-inch ones you get at the hardware store for paint, for edging and stuff like that. This was like, I don't even think this was $1.
Oh yeah, you get them in a pack of 5 or so, and I pick those up at the Dollar Tree, especially when I'm doing terrain, because I'll use those for glue. Okay, so when I'm doing my my water and PVA glue mix for whatever kind of stuff I'm gluing on or doing, those brushes are the best. The other thing those brushes are great for, hold that brush back up. The other thing those brushes are great for is you cut them and they make really good swamp grass sticking up out of your bases.
Yeah.
So don't throw away your brushes, because that's the other good thing they're for after their life has ended as a paintbrush, is they're really good for grass. I used to put them on my Space Marine Scout bases. They looked cool. There you go. See? Grass, tall grass, sweet. So anyway, so I actually haven't tried my bomb wick brushes yet because I'm scared to.
See, that's what I was saying about games and gears.
I know.
The only one I use out of here is the dry brush one because it's great. It's fantastic.
Well, the other thing is I still have my Army Painter brushes. They're still in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
But they're kind of getting to the point now where I'm having to form them into a point. We won't say how I form them into a point, but it's not by doing this. It might be by doing what Eric is suggesting. It may not. Kids, don't eat your paint. Okay, don't eat your paint. This is your warning. Don't eat your paint. But so I'm about to the point where I'm going to have to switch over to them. And that's okay. Anyone over on Twitch? Todd went over to Twitch. They aren't. Ron says they aren't worth anything if you don't use them. That's very true. And I will. I'm going to use these, but I am going to get every single penny out of my Army Painters. And I've actually thrown away a couple of them. So I'm getting to the point where my selection of brushes as I'm painting is seriously dwindling.
I'll say I never throw them away. I bind them up and put them in a drawer because you never know. You might find something that will work for whatever.
Are you trying to create the ultimate dry brush? Is that what you're doing? You put a rubber band around them and you're creating the ultimate dry brush?
Yeah. Yeah. Old brushes work great for terrain because you don't care how, curly they are or how frayed and all that stuff. It's still
how much glue
I kind of like it because it gives you that spontaneous painting method you want for buildings and terrain.
Yep. And that's what I use. That's what I use my old ones for too. But to be perfectly honest with you, I am a plaid ambassador. So I have more plaid brushes than I can ever possibly use. So
you should be throwing those things over your shoulder left and right then.
No way, man. They're too good. I'm telling you, there are really, really, really good brushes for, you know, when you're comparing them to these really high quality Sable brushes and all of this really good stuff, they are really, really good brushes. I was surprised with the quality of them. So, and yeah, paint pens are a thing too. I haven't tried any of those. Have any of you guys? Now I use micron pens on my terrain for like cracks in the walls and stuff, or I have colored micron pens where I'll do graffiti on the walls. I haven't really been doing very much modern stuff that has graffiti, but that's what I use my micron pens for, because they come in probably like the paint pens. They come in different sizes, so that's good. Oh, there's Mini Warmutt recovering from dinner and a Boston cream pie for his birthday. Hit the big
happy birthday.
Hey, welcome. I just hit the big 4-8 last month, so happy birthday to you, sir. And here, I want to see what Todd says about these. So Todd says Tamiya panel line accent color ink a lot. Now those are pens, are they not, Todd? Or is that just an ink? Because I've heard of those, and I've seen that you do a lot of the Gundams. So I know that those work on there. And then, okay, so us young whippersnappers are getting it from Ron and Todd. So that's okay. That just means we got more time left to paint. That's all that means. Okay, Todd says it's a small bottle. Okay. But I would be interested if anybody has, and the lid has a small brush. I would be interested to know if anybody has used any of the paint pens and how they are. I haven't tried my micron pens on a model yet, and I've been interested in trying the cartoon style of painting. You've seen, I know Epic Duck Studios did several Twitch videos where he was doing his Relic Blade stuff in that cartoon stuff. And I wonder if the micron pens would be good for the black shading.
I think so. I've used it for striping before. You know, sometimes a paintbrush isn't going to give you that nice, clean, especially if it's really small. It's hard to do, and especially if your hands are like this. A pen is a little bit easier to get that nice, clean line.
Oh, man, Ron, I never even thought of that, using the micron pen for tattoos. I might have to buy another Canada for the Drowned Earth just so I can do his tattoo now. And then Bob said he's used them on Gundams. Yeah, I've got a ton of them.
Yeah, I love this set that you can get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's designed for cartooning, and they have such a wide range of tip and sizes. There's actually a brush one in here too, which is kind of neat.
Right. So paint markers on the Gundams, and Alder points out best painting accessory he has bought recently, the Vortex mixer. I do not have the Vortex mixer, but I do have this fancy nail polish shaker.
Mine died on me, Mac.
Did it? This is my second one. My last one I had for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And it died. But it is, man, it's a lifesaver. You just slap it on there. And I'm sure the Vortex mixer is too. You just slap it on there and let it shake that paint. Boom! You are good to go.
Yep.
That's a fact.
That's a must-have for some of those lower-end paints that just seem to separate.
Yep. Well, and the contrast paints, they separate quite a bit too. They settle a lot. And you got to shake them. So if you know you're going to use them, I throw them on my shaker. I'll work on whatever I'm working on. And then, about 40, 50 seconds, good to go.
Yep.
Good to go. So, well, I actually thank you, everybody, because I learned a lot tonight. And I'm going to, don't forget everything that you guys suggested. If you don't mind, go over to the Discord channel and throw up some links, because it's almost Christmas, so we could all probably use
good stocking stuffers, right?
Yeah, right. All good stocking stuffers, man. Micron pens. I want to try out some of those Gundam pen markers. I've got my good brushes that I'm going to try out, and I'm going to try them out. Ron, you're right. I'm going to go ahead as soon as my Human Torpedo and Cleo de Havilland get here from Demented Games. They are going to be the first one that I use my Bombwick brushes on. So there you go. I'm going to put them into action. And I may even throw away my Army Painter brushes. I know. I have a big family, though, so I could just be like, well, for Christmas, I could use another set of Army Painter brushes just as a backup.
That's true.
Just as a backup. So I believe that's all the time we have tonight, folks. And Eric, congratulations on making it through on your phone.
All right. I made it on my phone. Not what I wanted to do, but it still worked, right?
Mini Warmut said, so was Twisted mentioned tonight right out the gate, man, first 2 minutes.
And I couldn't even use my bell because
you're on your phone. Because Alder already got his new models from Demented Games, and I haven't gotten mine yet, so I was very jealous. He says we need to do over under on Twisted for a betting site. That's funny. We probably should, though, because yes, I'm going to mention it. You can bet on that. Make absolutely no mistake. I'm going to mention it. It's my favorite game.
I might have to start a Discord channel just for that.
Just for betting on how quickly I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. So anyway, I believe it's my turn to take us out today. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know.
No, you're right.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, you awesome, wonderful invaders. If you're new to the show or just want to check out some more content, you can get our audio content on all the podcast platforms. And for video, you can check us out on YouTube for things like unboxing, impressions. If you missed the live show, you can go back over there and watch it. And you can also dig back through the videos and find a bunch of the other indie games that we've talked about, some interviews with some of the creators of those games, which is pretty cool. You can also hit us up on social platforms like Facebook and Instagram to see what sort of trouble we've gotten into. I guess that would mean what packages have arrived for us to open.
I got sitting right next to me.
Yeah, but see, you're an oak. You don't open them. I'm like, I was going to do a video on my sewer golem, and it didn't happen. I just painted him. It just didn't happen. So please check out our Discord community as it is continuing to grow, and a lot of fun stuff going on over there. Not to mention the fact that there's going to be some cool links for some painting stuff over there, which is really cool. And you can check out all of that stuff over on the coastaltex.com webpage, which is the CoastalCon website, which is our sponsor, but not happening this year. But next year, we've already working on that. So if you'd like to support us in what we're doing, you can check us out at Patreon at Indie Invasion and see some of the stuff we've got up over there. It's all free. You don't have to do anything, but the absolute best thing you can do, share this video, tell a friend, like, subscribe, all of those weird social media buttons that are hovering around whatever social media platform you are on. And lastly, if you guys need something to wear, it's almost Christmas. So you need something to wear, or you need something to drink your coffee out of. As a matter of fact, Alder just posted his cup. He got a cup. So you can check out the blue version of the cup over in the Discord. You'll see a picture of it. But check us out on Redbubble, because there's all kinds of cool stuff over on Redbubble. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, hats, coffee cups, all kinds of cool stuff. Go over and check it out. We are still waiting for the Indie Invasion miniskirt because Spaz promised to model.
It's not my rinse cup, Bob.
It is not the rinse cup. No, Indie Invasion is not used for that. But until then, guys, when you're out there playing your games and right now buying your games for Christmas and telling your loved ones what games you absolutely can't live without, remember to prepare yourself for the invasion.